Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking the power to heal yourself with Hillary Gooden, certified lymphologist. She helps women, busy women, get their lives on track and take care of themselves so they can be better for those around them. You do not want to miss this. So stay plugged in, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to go down. So do me a huge favor. Comment in the chat where you from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from monetizemylifeacademy.com, the premier digital marketing mastermind on the planet. If you're an entrepreneur and you haven't quite figured out online marketing, you haven't quite figured out how to make social media work for you, then you want to test drive Monetize My Life Academy for just $1, ladies and gentlemen, for your first 30 days. And you're going to learn how to do email marketing. You're going to learn how to master social media. You're going to learn how to build an attractive, powerful, and authoritative personal brand. You're going to learn how to do YouTube marketing. You're going to learn how to really take advantage of the times that we are in and leverage the internet to build a bigger, better, more robust brand for yourself. And you get all of that for the first 30 days for just $1. That's monetizemylifeacademy.com. Today, we're talking the power to heal. Got a very special guest who's going to come on and share her story, her amazing triumph of what she had to go through. And now she's helping other busy women get themselves in order in the very same fashion that she did for herself. A couple quick announcements before we bring on our very special guest. Got a ton of free resources for our men. If you are a man wanting to improve your financial literacy, you want to grow your financial IQ, then you want to check out our free Facebook group called Financially Lit Fathers. Yes, when you join that group, I've got 3 free resources for you. I've got a financial literacy resource that teach you all of the financial terminology that you need to know in order to build generational wealth. If that's something that you're interested in, check the link in the description and in the show notes and join Financially Lit Fathers, the free Facebook community. If you're not a man and you want some of these free resources, then I can put the link in the show notes and the descriptions for you to get the free resources. But ladies, do not join the group. The group is for the fellas only. We need a space where we can be vulnerable one with another and for some strange reason, when there are women around, men cannot put their ego aside and get down to the business of healing themselves in the way that they need to. Also, the book publishing program is off and running full head of steam. If you want to become a published author, like 81% of adult Americans want to, then I have a program that can help you write, publish, and launch your own wildly profitable book in as little as 21 days, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you can't write, you failed high school English like me, all you got to do is go to workwithcortez.com/publish, and I can help you write your first or your next book in as little as 21 days, build a brand around it, and help you set up the systems to sell that thing on autopilot. And then last but not least, our special guest today does have a book out today. And for those of you who use the link in the show notes to grab her book, I'm going to bless you with a free vacation voucher. Yeah, that's how I get out, man. When you support my sponsors, when you support my guests, I want to show you some love and support you. Speaking of supporting my sponsors, speaking of supporting my guests, it is now time for us to bring on our very special guest. This lady does amazing work with other powerful, successful, yet busy women who are trying to figure out how to reduce the anxiety in their life, trying to figure out how to be all that a woman is called to be without losing themselves in the process. She teaches them how to put themselves first. She teaches them how to heal themselves from the inside out. So I want to introduce to some of you guys and present to others my good friend, Miss Hillary Gooden. Good morning, Hillary. How are you?
Good morning from here in Chicago. Greetings.
Awesome. Super excited to have you on. You have done the work on yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. And now you're helping other women do that work. And we're going to talk all about that today. But before we do, I like to start the show with what's called a quote of the day. And this is where I will give the listeners one of my favorite quotes or something that I heard that just really resonated in my spirit. And if you have a favorite quote, you can give yours, or you can comment on my quote of the day. So today's quote, as I was doing my workout this morning, I heard someone quote Abraham Lincoln on discipline. He said, "Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most." Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. So do you have a favorite quote, or do you want to chime in on that one?
That's a good quote. I have to remember that. But I do have a favorite quote from Apostle Bill Heyman. I heard him speak years ago. This is in maybe the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And he made it. I share this all the time. And it is, do you believe what you believe you believe?
Ooh, that's
I have
deep.
never forgotten that, and it always come back, and that's a nugget I share and share and share.
You believe what you believe you believe.
Yeah.
Because if you do, your actions might line up with that.
There you go.
What you say you believe. But discipline is one of those things that we absolutely must. We must get control of. We must exercise every day, every minute, every moment of our lives. And it is the difference between what you want now and what you really want, because most of the times we have to sacrifice the now for the greater good. And when you can get good at that, you make that your life's habits, you will see your life transform dramatically. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. The quote of the day is brought to you by my good friends over at Patty Creek Farm. So let me let you hear a word from our sponsor.
Yo, what's up, good people? It's your man, H. Cortez Hustle. Listen, when you want to get away from all the hustle and bustle of your life, you want to unplug, you need a place to unwind and chill, I want to tell you all about Patty Creek's Farm. Man, it was amazing getaway for my wife and I. We just came down. It's about 2 hours southwest of Missouri, of St. Louis, and we just had a blast. There's plenty for you to do around the farm, or if you want to do nothing at all, I want you to listen to this. just peace and quiet, right? Man, this is an amazing place. The grounds are beautiful, well kept. Miss Patty and Mr. Bob are some amazing human beings, and they're going to make sure that you have a very good time. So go check them out at Patty Creek's Farm. You will not be disappointed. And for those of you who are grinding all the time, remember, you need time for self-care. And what better way to do that than to unplug? Come get you a little bit of peace and quiet, get you a little bit of peace of mind, relax, chill. One of the coolest bed and breakfasts we've ever been to, Patty Creek's Farm. Check it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, Cortez Hustle, and we are listening to and learning from Miss Hillary Gooden. And it's time to dive in. And I ask everybody who comes on the Cortez Hustle Show, Miss Hillary, the same question. Who the heck are you?
Well, I've been asking myself that question too. Who are you? But you know what? I'm a vibrant life coach now, but I used to be a CFO of a mental health behavioral health center here in Chicago. I worked there for 33 years. Nobody does that anymore.
Right.
And I went into this job. So before I went to that job, a couple of weeks, well, actually like a day before I got interviewed for the job, I got born again. Okay. In the middle of the night, I had a visitation, an encounter, changed my life. And the most important thing that it changed was the fact that I was so shy. I could never do anything like I'm doing now if that hadn't happened. I mean, I was so shy to the point where if you didn't continue to ask me questions, we didn't have a conversation. I just smiled. I smiled a lot. And I held in what I had to say till later when I would talk to my friends afterwards. We get somewhere and I said, oh, I could have said this and I should have said that. And they were like, well, why didn't you? I don't understand you. And I was just so caught up in myself, not wanting people to laugh at me. What if what if I say the right thing and they don't come out right and they laugh? What if they laugh? What if they laugh? I just had this thing. And so to protect myself, I muted myself for a long, long, long time. And so I was about 28 when I had the encounter with the Lord. Yeah. And that's when he just unmuted me. And it was so fast. It was so much. I ended up getting this job as a line staff accountant. And I got the job. I ended up being promoted as the manager. And then I went on to be the CFO. Learned a lot of things about people and myself. Along the way, dealing with people on all different kinds of levels. And along the way also came the stress, came the responsibility, the stress of more and more and more responsibility. Also along the way, I was ordained a pastor, so then that's more responsibility of dealing with people. God had just set me up to say, okay, I guess he moved so fast with me because I got things for you to do. And you've muted yourself so long. Okay, now all of this stuff needs to come out. All this stuff needs to go in as well, and to make who I am today. And so I found myself as the years went on thinking, okay, Lord, when is going to be my chance where I can leave this place? Had I known I was going to be here 33 years when I walked in the door, I don't know if I would have walked in the door. The Lord don't tell you everything all at one time because we can't handle all the truth at one time.
That's right.
And so, it was about in 2018, I started feeling excited because when I came into the place, I was always telling people, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Right. I just love the Lord so much and so hard. And I wanted everybody to have everything that I was gleaning. I was regurgitating it to everybody anywhere, on the bus, on the street, on the job, whatever. And so, but over the years, it kind of, all the responsibility, I couldn't be talking to all the people the way I used to when I was a line staff. Right. Plus people don't respond to you the same. Okay, now one of the girls told me that when I became manager, okay, why are you all not talking to me and treating me funny? What's going on? And she put it real simple. She said, well, Miss Hillary, it's like this. You're one of them, and you're no longer one of us. I said, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I know where I stand, and we'll just deal with it from there. You know, I just learn, okay, now I got new things that people see you different as you become elevated in your status, especially on jobs, you know. And that took some getting used to, but I grew, grew past all of that. And so in 2018, around October, I started feeling that I'm so excited. And I said, oh my goodness, God is about to release me from this job. I just knew it. And because I would sit there at my desk, I had this beautiful gray big window I would look out, and I would sit there some days and just say, I have got to get out here. I gotta get out of this place. And I was doing live streaming from my desk out the health stuff because of the stress for me and the anxiety, the overwhelm, all the responsibilities, and then so much stuff that was going on in this job, I developed a chronic cough. And I didn't realize until some years down the road, I started recognizing that this cough is not just because I eat dairy or maybe, you know, I shouldn't have ice cream, whatever. That would frustrate it. But I found that if somebody wanted to argue it, I start hyperventilating. My heart would start beating fast. That cough would trigger, and you know, it would just give me give me a minute or so, and it was just showing up again and again and again, more and more. When I went to the doctor said, well, here's 3 prescriptions. I was like, okay, I don't like to take medicine. I don't like to take pills. So what is this prescription for? Well, this one may work for you. We're going to try it. Well, what is this one for? Well, it was for something totally different, but she wanted me to try it for what my cough. I was like, that don't make sense to me.
Right.
And then she said, this one is for inhaler, and you need to take that. So I said, well, is there anything that's natural? You said something you could tell me I could go to the health food store that I could get that could help. The look the doctor gave me that day, oh my God. I had no idea why she did, but I understand more now. But I was just wondering, is there anything? She reached in her pocket. She just dug down in her pocket. She pulled out her inhaler. And she said, you're just going to have to get an inhaler and take it for the rest of your life like me. And she put it back in her pocket and walked out of there. And she didn't come back. And I was like, are we done? Is she gone? I had to peep. Yeah.
Now that's, I mean, to me, that is, I think, the difference between where we are now and where the traditional medicine was then. I think now more traditional medicines are figuring out how to incorporate natural because they're figuring out how to get paid from it. But before they couldn't, there was no way. If you get healed, then we don't make no money. So take this medicine because these pharmaceutical companies are paying us to dole out this medicine. But before we get into that, because that's a story in itself, you talked about the elevation from being the line accountant to ultimately becoming a manager. And then the CFO, for those who don't know, that's the chief financial officer. Every penny that comes in and out of this establishment, you got to approve, right? So that's a tremendous high executive level position within corporate. So the stress of that, I always want to know when I get powerful, strong, intelligent, beautiful Black women on who've made it to that level in corporate. What was the experience being not only a woman in that position, but being a Black woman in that position? That you have any issues that were related to not only your gender, but also the color of your skin?
Gender-wise, there were issues at times, but this was a Black run agency organization. It was started by a Black man who wanted to make opportunities for other Black social workers or mental health professionals coming out of school. So they have that door, that open door to the rest of their lives. So I saw a lot of people come in and come out. I mean, come in and leave, but that was the vision of the
Yeah.
founder. So yeah, it was mostly a you know, African American, Black people there, and we had our occasional Caucasian people that would come on board, but it was Black run. But the most of the management was men.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so yeah, there were those issues sometimes where they didn't want to. So I had to learn how to stand my ground, stand in my authority,
Mhm.
and smile. I had this beautiful smile, you know, and usually people would see things my way, you know,
Yeah.
and realize I know what I'm talking about. That was always the thing, trying to not just convince people, but just do what I do,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know.
And I
And
think that's important because there's a lot of women. I have one of my clients. I just helped her write and publish her first book, and one of the things she's big on is self-awareness and self-love. And when you're navigating corporate, I think for women, it's hard to be in that environment with all that testosterone, especially in leadership, where you got to tell these men what to do and what they can't
yeah,
do. And you said something, you said you had to stand your ground, right?
yeah,
How long did it take for you to get to that place where you like, hey, you put me in this position for a reason so that I can watch and be safeguard over this money. You're going to do this because this is the way it has to be done. And how long did it get to where you were able to stand your ground and still smile when, because I'm sure they had things to say and they didn't always roll over because you said so.
yeah, you know, people as I the first CEO that I worked under was a woman,
Mm-hmm.
very strong woman. I learned a lot of lessons from her. She had issues about how to deal on one level with people, but then on another level with people, there were much lessons to be learned if you just watched her,
Mm-hmm.
listened, and saw how she did things. So I did glean a lot there. And then when she retired, then Mel took her place. But it was someone within the organization that I had worked with over the years, but on a he was like, we didn't have that much dealings with, but he had to come to our office when he picked up his paycheck and all that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Um,
Gotcha.
but then he became the CEO, so now we were working on a whole nother level, and
Mm-hmm.
that was interesting for
Gotcha.
me. It just came time that when I stepped into the CFO position, we were in the middle of an audit, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy that was the CFO at the time, uh, he left abruptly in the middle of an audit that I
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't in
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And the auditor, I remember her coming to me and she said, "Listen, we're in the middle of an audit. I don't understand why he left at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to come to you now.
Right.
I know you know the answers. I know you know the questions, but I can see it in your face. And I know my face was, my eyes must have looked like two, you know, the deers with the lights in their face. And I was like, oh my God. And so she said, listen, I need to ask you a question. I'll never forget this. She said, I need to ask you a question. And I know you know the answer. I know the answer, but I have to get the answer from you because you're you're the person here at the organization. I don't remember the question now, but she asked me the question and I was just searching, you know, with my eyes. Sometimes my
Mm-hmm.
face would just tell it all. But she said, breathe in and breathe out and think about what I just asked you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came to me and I told her the answer. And she was like, exactly. She said, you got what it takes. Don't let
Mm-hmm.
anybody tell you you don't. You can do this better than anybody could because you're doing it anyway. And I was
Wow.
like, that helped me so much because after that, the staff that were there that was beholden or felt some connection to him, they left. So it was just
Mm-hmm.
me and one other person after having about 6 people in that office, because there was about 6 people in that office running the heartbeat of that agency. It was just down to me and a new girl.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it was some pull up your pants for both of us. And we worked that thing. Oh my God. It was just amazing because everybody thought it was going to fall apart. That's what he was hoping for. you know, and
Yeah.
everybody was watching.
I love
And
that. I
so
love that.
that was awesome. We did that thing.
Listen, man, I hope y'all listening and I hope y'all taking notes because I got two things out of that. The power of the spoken word into somebody's spirit
Yes.
to help them believe in themselves. That right there is amazing. Now we're going to continue on learning from and listening to Ms. Gooden, but we have to take a quick pause for the 1 minute motivation. This is the part of the show that I absolutely love because I'm big on personal growth and self-development. So I play a short 1 minute motivational video. You give me your takeaways, and those of you who are listening live, give me your takeaways, what you hear as well. And we're going to get to that. And I'm excited to hear what you have to say, your take on this 1 minute motivation video right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
And don't quit on yourself. Keep believing. Keep going up. I will rise.
Self-love is the cure to self-hate.
If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself.
Self-love is the cure to feeling depleted, feeling like you have nothing left, you have no energy.
Self-discipline is self-love.
Your journey will have unexpected stops. It will have curves. It will have hills. It will have valleys. You will have sunny days. You will have rainy days. But you have to decide. If I encounter rejection, if I encounter frustration, I will not give up.
You will find the calm, the peace, the hope, the faith, the courage, the expectancy you need to live.
If you never get married, you enough. If you never pass that law degree, you enough. If you never become a doctor, you enough. If you never get married, you enough. If you never have a child, you are enough like you are. And that's why God created you. You are enough.
Hoo-wee! I don't know about you. Listen,
That's so
the reason I love this is because we all just listened to the same clip, but we heard something different. So what did you hear?
I heard that never give up, and
Yeah.
get up. Get up.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
up. You know, I had a vision sitting at my desk when I was working, and I had felt in my spirit like I just couldn't go anymore. It was just too much. And in this vision, I was slumped. I was just on the ground like a old dish rag, you know, just limp and just couldn't. I cannot. And I saw the hand of the Lord like reach down, stand me up on my feet, and my legs were strong to stand me on my feet. And he said, "You can stand." And I got up from there and just made it happen and did what I had to do. And I never forgot that. You can stand, even when you feel like you want to give up. You're enough. You got everything you need in you. And just, I don't know, just taking up too much time. This is a minute, but yeah, you can stand.
No, good.
That's
No,
what
that's what I want to hear, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
want
want
to
to
say about when I muted myself and
hear.
when I was researching about the mind and the fact that the mind your cells have memory. I was researching about this and I was just all in. And I had an incident sitting at that same desk where I remember the incident that happened to me when I was a child of someone that had said something in passing, no big thing, and laughed about it. But it was that moment that I decided that I didn't want anybody to laugh at me ever again. I was almost 60 years old when this revelation came to me. And now I'm freer than I've ever been because I realized then, I said, you know what? I'm not my 12-year-old self anymore, 10, 12, whatever age that was. I'm no longer that child with the childlike mechanism for protecting myself. I don't need that now. I'm a grown woman.
I love it.
And I got strategies. I know how to not give up and not care. If they laugh at me, so what?
Yeah.
I am enough. And I realized that everything that I needed, and everything that who I am now, I always was.
That's right. That's right.
I always was. And
Man,
it's amazing. It's just amazing. I am enough. You are enough.
y'all better listen. Y'all better listen. You know, you have to make a decision to not give up, right?
That's right.
I love that word decision because it's the opposite of the word incision. When a doctor makes an incision, they cut into you. When you make a decision, you cut things away. And I've already decided to not quit on building a media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney. I've already decided, but I know there's some things that are going to show up in my life to make me want to quit, right? And that I am enough reminds me of one of my favorite analogies, right? Is an apple seed a seed or is it an apple tree? See, everything the apple seed needs to become an apple tree is in there. The only thing that needs to take place is that apple seed needs to find the right environment. And it's the same with us. Everything that we need to become, we are human beings. We are to be. Everything that we are to be is inside of us. All we need is the right environment. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is 1 Minute Motivation, the Hillary Gooden version, brought to you by, of course, You Got the Power to Heal. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already clicked on the link in the description and the show notes, then you can go grab Hillary's book, You Got the Power, 7 Ways to Transform Your Health and Your Peace. All you got to do is go to hillarygooden.com and click on books, and you can go ahead and grab yourself a copy. I got the link in the description and the show notes as well. So before we jumped into 1 Minute Motivation, Hillary, we were talking about this experience, your growth through becoming CFO, and how, you know, the anticipation from your predecessor is that, man, when I leave, this thing's going to fall apart. Not knowing that God had already placed a solution in that place before you decide to make your move, Mr. Whoever you were, right? And you and a brand new person pulled up your bootstraps, laced up your bootstraps, and brought that thing back in together. What else did you learn about yourself during that process?
I learned that I can't stand, you know, and I was able to show her, you can do this, you know, because she didn't know, she had book knowledge, you know, and it was just so amazing. I said, listen, while I focus on this audit and these daggone reports and different stuff, she had to run everything else. Everything else. And she run in, I tell her, and she was so excited because she was learning. She was gleaning, you know, and I knew that once this thing got, this boat, you know, got settled or whatever, she probably wasn't going to stay. And that's what happened. She moved on. And the very thing that she had to really buckle down and help with in the office was the very thing she got hired for at another place. I was happy for her, you know, and things moved on from there. But I knew that my time there was coming to an end. You know, I knew when I came in, because the people had spoken to my life and said, listen, you're gonna be the one to head that office one day. And I'm thinking, I'm just getting hired. What are you talking about? You know, these people have been on this job. I don't think they're going anywhere. But then I progressed. And then when I got that position, I was like, okay, Lord. So I worked this for a while, then I can go. And I ended up being there, you know, maybe about 5, 6 years, 7 so years doing that. And in 2018, I started feeling that excitement, and I knew it was time to go. And so March of 2019, I retired from there. And from about 2015 until then, I was learning about the lymphatic system. I was learning about different holistic ways to help my cough, because I was not going to take an inhaler for the rest of my life. That just wasn't going to happen. And so I learned different things that I could do over the span of that time. And what I learned most of all is that a lot of what ails us is what comes out of our mouth. The thoughts we allow our mind to entertain, you know, can set up sickness in your life. you know, and this is what I found out most that we need to deal with first. You know, we can eat the right things, we can drink enough water, get enough sleep, move our bodies. But then if we got stinking thinking and we speak words of hate and, you know, lack and sickness, you know, you're speaking all of this stuff, but yet you're expecting what you're doing to make the difference. Sometimes it doesn't make the difference. I found that working with some people, them being able to forgive, tap into forgiveness, turn their autoimmune condition around. Something that simple that they can't give you a pill for that.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know?
That's right.
And so I've learned a lot of things. And when I bumped into the lymphatic system, just watching somebody else, a man that was about to, his doctor told him, listen, you got 6 months to live, you need to get your house in order. And somebody began to teach him about the lymphatic system. And the first thing they did was deal with his mindset first. All of the stuff that I just talked about. And then they start teaching them about the lymphatic system. And it is the one system in the body that's connected to all the other systems. And it's like a vacuum to remove, or how can I say, like a dish, what do you call that thing? I don't have one. The
garbage
thing you
disposal.
put the food in the sink to take it away.
The
What do you call
garbage
that thing?
disposal. The garbage disposal.
Yeah, it's like the garbage disposal of the system to remove built up cellular waste that gets trapped around your cells and your tissues. And when that happens, they call it inflammation. You get pain, you have loss of energy, and a whole host of conditions. With inflammation, the base of almost all illnesses, if you listen, you'll hear them say inflammation, arthritis, inflammation, glaucoma, inflammation for most of the autoimmune conditions, inflammation. The lymphatic system deals with removing those excesses so that it keeps, you know, you need a certain amount of inflammation in the body, but when there's excess and buildup, you'll have all of these things. Bouncing on a mini trampoline, I found, was the #1 way to activate your lymphatic system.
And let me just say this, because for those who are listening, Hillary Gooden is a certified lymphologist, right? And although this show is not designed to prevent, treat, cure, heal any disease or diagnose anything, she is certified in what she's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's clear to note that one of the things about the lymphatic system is, unlike the other systems, it's the one that does not have its own pump mechanism like the heart pump. So it's going to move the blood. The lymphatic system doesn't have something to move the lymph and the waste through. So you have to do that yourself. Am I correct?
That's correct. That's what I was just ready to explain. Well said.
So
the lymphatic fluid, like the blood, it goes, it leaves the heart and then it comes back to the heart. You know, that's the cycle, leaves and comes back. The lymph fluid only moves in one direction, upwards in the body. So when you bounce on a mini trampoline, at the bottom of the bounce, the check valves along the lymphatic vessels open up and allow the lymph fluid to rush up in the body to help to activate the vessels to do that vacuuming kind of motion to remove the excesses from wherever it may be built up in the body. And you can experience more energy, less pain, you know, just more clarity of mind. You know, some people dealing with brain fog, you know, where they just can't think half the time. Just having more vitality, feeling young at heart. That's, you know, good health is what's normal. You know, a lot of times people think sickness is normal. It's not. Good health is what's normal. You know,
And how long did it take? How long did it take for you to figure that part out? Like, you had that cough and it was crying, and it was something that, like, it's one of those things where it's a nagging thing, but it's not a life-threatening thing. And sometimes people will just feel, like you said, they're using their words to say, oh, I just got this little cough, right? And you're saying that for 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years, you just got this little cough, and you start treating it as if it's just a normal part of your physiology. But that's not normal, right?
It's not normal. and taking some chemicals in my body for me wasn't normal
Mhm.
either. And
Right.
so that doesn't mean that I don't have episodes that it might happen, but I know
Mhm.
what to do.
Right.
I know there
Right.
are breathing techniques that I can do. I know that I can bounce on my mini trampoline, and
Mhm.
that lasts you through your day. We're talking 3 to 5 minutes at a time can make a difference
Mhm.
in your life. It's just so
Right.
amazing. And so this is something that I teach and help women, especially women 40 plus, because I understand
Mhm.
that woman. I used to
Yeah.
be that woman. When you
Right.
just have
Right.
all these different hats, everybody's looking to you for answers and solutions, and you have them. You got
Mhm.
all the
That's right.
answers and all the solutions. But then you look up and you're not giving yourself some of you. You're giving you all
Mhm.
away to
Mhm.
everybody else, and they're gladly
Yeah.
taking.
That's right. That's
And when
right.
you look up, you know what? The one day at that same desk, I was sitting there. I had many encounters with the Lord because I'm a praying woman, okay? But one day
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
sitting there and he said, I was working 6 o'clock, every 6 o'clock in the evening, looked like I would get real busy because the office would get quiet after everybody's gone. All day they pull, 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 pull. In the evening to about 8 o'clock, I work.
Mhm.
That particular night, that's what I was doing. I leave with the maintenance staff. But that night, the Lord quickened me and he said, save some for yourself. I packed up my stuff
Mm.
and I started packing. I was like, oh, let me get out of here. I heard that so loud and clear on the inside. And
Yeah.
that was like on a Friday. That Monday, they had a stand-up meeting, emergency stand-up meeting. Said from now on, the agency is only going to be open till 6 o'clock in the evening. I was like, okay, Lord, I got you. I
Let's
got
talk
you.
about that. Let's dive into that. Let's unwrap that a little bit because I think that is. I had a guy tell me one time that almost every woman has a identity crisis because women more than men have their identity in everybody else that they serve. Their identity is in their children. Their identity is in their mate. Their identity is in their job. Their identity is once the kids get grown, their identity is in the grandchildren, right? And they never learn how to put themselves at the top of their own priority list. How do you get women 40 plus to put themselves at the top of their own priority list?
You have to start making it even just a little. If you give yourself 10 minutes, give
Mhm.
yourself 15 minutes. This is just for you. And I have to tell them, listen, you have to read, you have to train people, like Maya Angelou said. You have to train
Mhm.
people how to treat you. They
Mhm.
take their
Mhm.
they take their cues from you. So if you
Mm.
allow them to just take and take and take, that's what they're gonna do, because that's the relationship.
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
begin to switch it and say, you know what, I need some of me for me, just for
Mm.
me,
Right.
some me time. And even for
Yeah.
the kids, the husbands, the clients,
Mhm.
the boss, whatever, you had those personal days you could take off. Take that personal day for yourself. Don't let it build up
Mhm.
to 20 days. Then what? You know.
Mhm. Right.
But
Right.
take that time for yourself. And when you do this, like at home, for women that are dealing, especially during the pandemic, everybody was at home. You still had to
Mhm.
find ways to have some me time. And
Right.
people are going to resist it at first. They're not going to
Mhm.
understand it. They're going to think you're rejecting them. But it's not
Wow.
rejecting them as much as it is accepting yourself, you know.
Mm.
And once
Mm.
they see that you're better for even that 10 to 15 minutes, they'll let
Mhm.
you have, oh, mommy need that 10 minutes. So when the big hand is on the on the 12 and the little hand is on the 3, that's when I'll be ready, okay? You have to teach
Mhm.
them. And they watch, those
Yeah.
kids will watch that clock. They'll watch that clock. And soon as them hands are lining up, they're ready to go. And you're ready to go on too and keep your word. But
Right.
they'll begin
Us,
to see,
us
oh,
husbands will
you
watch
need
that
that
clock
time.
too. Us husbands will watch that clock too. All right, it's 3 o'clock, babe. Come get these jokers.
Absolutely, yes. So,
Cool.
even if you have to do it a little bit at a time, and then you'll find out how even that little bit of time is it becomes so precious. and but your family will love you. If you keep the time, they'll keep the time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And if you're always operating from an empty cup, right? How can you, at some point, you have to refill your cup as an
Absolutely.
individual. And sometimes we get caught up in giving, and that we never really truly replenish. And that should be a daily thing. Talk
Yeah.
about your program that you use to help these busy women get through some of this stuff, especially with the anxiety piece, right? There's a lot that comes with being a Black woman in corporate America that a lot of women bring home, and they don't realize it's stemming from that relationship that they have with their job, right? There's a lot of stresses that come along with that whole thing, even with how you wear your hair and having to assimilate in that environment and all that stuff. So how does your program help these women deal with anxiety in particular?
Yeah, I have a 5-week program about resetting your and regaining your power, regaining yourself, actually. And again, it has to start with your mindset. It has to start. I tell people all the time, it starts with the words you speak, because you're speaking what you believe. We talked about that. Do you believe what you believe? You believe. Are your actions lining up with that? If not, then you need to. Are the words you speaking lining up with that? Because your words go out into your future, and they wait. Sometimes it might be tomorrow, later today, 10 days, maybe a month, who knows, a year from now. Those words waiting on you to get there. So what's waiting on you? What's waiting on you? And so when you can think about it like that, you begin to be mindful of the words that you speak, and be mindful of the thoughts you allow your mind to entertain. And the way I help them to understand it is that your mind believes everything you say. Your brain does everything the mind tells it to do. But where does it stop? It starts with you and the words you speak. And so, it has to start there. And then we go into love and forgiveness, because to me, that's like a two-sided coin. They go together. If you can love, you can forgive. If you can forgive, it's because you got a certain amount of love going on. And if you don't, that needs to be built up. It could be a lot of drama that's been in your life, or trauma, bad situations or whatever. And even like me, they can cause you to be not at your optimal level. So these things need to be dealt with. And then I get into stress. There's just so many things that come with stress, and different exercises that you can do because I feel like you can do, I say do, but you can try different things over a 5 to 7 day period to see how life could be a little bit different, or how life could be different, that you would take on as something you would do as a new discipline in your life. Because if you
I
can
think
get
that's
that
important.
I always figured that the mindset, if you had a pie and it's cut into 3 slices, 2/3 of that pie is all of this mindset stuff. Finding you, being okay with you, understanding that you are enough, and understanding that it starts with you. Then you can do anything else you want to do in your life. You can have better business, be a better employee, a better mom, lose that weight, or whatever it is that it is you desire to do. So
I love it. I love it. Tony Robbins, my quote of the day from yesterday is so fitting, because Tony Robbins says 80% is mindset, 20% is tactic. But most people spend 80% of their time on the tactical stuff. It's like, no, you shouldn't be spending your time on the tactical stuff. That's not the problem. The problem is the mind. You need to be spending 80% of your time on the 80% of the thing that leads to success. And that is your mindset, starting with the way that you speak. We do a segment on this show when I have a guest on called Freestyle, Hillary, because I know you got bars. I know you can drop some rhymes on us. No, freestyle is not about dropping bars or rhyme. And this is where, as I continue to build on this empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney, I don't always ask the right questions. The conversation doesn't always evolve to where we want it to go. So this is where I give you the opportunity to take 90 seconds and just speak to anything that you feel that we need to reiterate, anything that we have not discussed that you want to make sure you get across to our audience. So this is Freestyle on the Cortez Hustle Show with Hillary Gooden. Hit them with your best freestyle.
Okay. Well, you know, the main thing that I say over and over and over again is you got the power. You got the power. You got the power to help your body help you to live a more vibrant life by having more vibrant health. You know, most people, somebody told me, don't make the book say, don't use that title because people don't believe they got the power. I said, that's why I'm telling them they got the power. And I'm telling you this morning, you got the power, you know, because you got the ability to change. You can change now. That's what's so good about now is that it's always now. Now is always a good time. If you need to change, do it now rather than later. Do it now. Go from, you learn anything from today, you know, use that now. Because this is the only time that we have, and we can't get time back. That's one thing that I am so passionate about too. You can't get time back. And once you realize that maybe I've been misusing my time, not using it to the fullest, or I've used it unnecessarily on some things that I can't get it back. I'm going to make better use of my time, for starting with the words I speak, spending time looking in that mirror if you have to. I do it. And I don't care if somebody happened to see me, and sometimes it has happened. Okay, I'm talking to myself. Excuse me.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I tell
This
people
is an A and B conversation. You can see your way out of it. I'm talking to
out.
myself. Thank you.
Yes, because I know it's important.
Yeah.
I know it's really important. The people used to walk by my office sometime and they might hear me talking and it says, is anybody in there with you? Yeah, I'm here. What? You know, because you need to hear it. You know, that faith cometh by hearing and hearing by the word of God. In the same way, sometimes you need to speak things out loud so that you can hear it in your own ear. You know, and so just know that you got the power to help your body help you. We have a responsibility to our bodies to eat more natural foods, eat fruits and vegetables, to drink enough water, to get enough sleep, to move our bodies, get fresh air. We have a responsibility. When we do our part, the body's going to reward you with some more energy, vitality, better health, you know. And when you speak in the words that you need to speak, you're going to have things coming back to you that you're glad about. Not stuff that you go, oh God, that again, a different person, but it's the same stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Starts with you.
Yeah, people miss that. They say that you're either going to a storm, in a storm, or just coming out of a storm. But what they don't say is that 90% of those storms are caused by you. That's right. What they don't say. You're speaking those storms into your life. And like you said, you're talking negative and you just got a storm brewing for you in your future. And when you get there, you're like, man, why this happened to me? Because you said it was going to happen to you last year. That's why it's happened to you, because you said it.
And watch this. Cortez is going to be great. His show is going to be the thing that everybody's going to be talking about, just scrambling, trying to get on. And it's going to be awesome, phenomenal, big. But man, I don't know if I got my little show, but I don't know. Don't nobody really even know me. I hope one day mine be bad. But now, what did I just do? I blessed you and cursed me.
That's right. That's right.
Stop it, people. If that's you, stop it.
Comparison is the thief of joy, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Hillary, this has been an amazing time for me. And that's why I do these shows, man. I do these shows for me. Like you said, hearing that word come out and back into my own ear, hearing people tell their stories and me resonating and seeing how that can be applicable to my life. Tell everybody how they can connect with you, get a copy of your book, or where would you want them to go from here?
Okay, well, you can connect with me on Facebook, Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube at Hillary Gooden, and my website, www.hillarygooden. I'm Googleable. I heard a lady say that.
Yes, Google me.
You will find me on Twitter and all these different places at Hillary Gooden. And I have that's where my book on the website. You can find the book on Amazon, but if you get it from my website, you will get a signed copy and a little discount too. So I'll be glad for you to have a copy of the book, because it's good.
Yeah,
so,
and
good. He said it's good. It's good.
And if you email me or inbox me a copy of your paid receipt, then I'm going to bless you with a free vacation voucher. You can choose from 1 or 10 different destinations to go hang out with on your boy, because you showed some love to my guest today. It has been wonderful having you. If you can stick around, then we'll talk offline. But I am so excited that you had the time to get up and bless us this morning. Even though you from Chicago, our St. Louis Cardinals just won 10 in a row. I'm just going to put that out there. Guys, you've been listening to Learning from Hillary Gooden right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Until we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.